everybody. Today I'm here with Dr. Louis Profeta. So you describe yourself as just an emergency room physician, author, public speaker, but mostly a father and a husband. We just want to say thank you to you. What are you seeing now in the emergency room?
Well, we're seeing another surge in COVID. The good news is the difference between this surge than what we were seeing at the beginning, in the spring, almost 2 years ago, is that these people aren't as sick. I did admit a couple to the hospital. Most of them we were able to send home. So hopefully it's more like it's Omicron. It's just sort of a mild respiratory illness, and these people do better.
Okay, let's focus for a second, not on the politics of vaccination, but on what you see in the ER. Are you walking away saying, I cannot believe everyone isn't vaccinated, or do you not see a big distinction?
Oh, it's a huge distinction. I mean, the only people that are dying right now, really coming into the ICU for the most part, are unvaccinated people. You don't even have to ask. I mean, if you look up and their oxygen levels are falling and they come in really sick, almost all of them universally are either unvaccinated or they're real far out from their booster shots. So I think I have only admitted one person that has had both vaccines and a booster, and this person had a lot of other comorbidities. Everybody else, if they're coming in critically ill, they're unvaccinated almost universally.
Okay, well, I want to talk to you about different scenarios, because as parents of teenagers, we are stuck right now with like this story happening of Omicron and not knowing how to react to it. So I just want to give you 5 different scenarios and ask you, like, what should people do in that situation? So let's start with, you were with someone who was exposed. So does it matter who that person is? If it's like they're in the house where you were at, but you weren't engaging with them. It's a significant other, a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Like, do those relationships weigh into what your response is to that exposure?
Am I vaccinated?
Yes, we're talking about people who are vaccinated.
Then I don't care. I don't care whether they've been vaccinated or haven't been vaccinated, or they've been exposed or been working in the emergency department. If I'm vaccinated and I got my booster, I don't care. I feel completely safe pretty much being around anybody.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reality of it. That's why you get vaccinated.
If everyone in the room is vaccinated, you'll go to a house.
I don't care about everybody in the room. I just care about myself. It's not I don't care about the rest of the room. Okay, if those people don't want to get vaccinated, it's up to them. I mean, I'm not going to live their life. If I'm vaccinated, and I've said this many times on social media, you can come up without a mask, hug me, shake my hand, whatever you want. I feel fine about that.
Wow. Okay, well, that's comforting.
I mean, the worst thing that I think is going to happen to me is I get a mild case of COVID. Okay, but I certainly don't think I'm going to die from it. I'm fully vaccinated. I've had my boosters. Okay, I mean, that's how you keep from getting this illness. I mean, all the data shows you that.
So you have a kid who's planning to come home and visit during their break, and they tell you that they were exposed. You say,
am I vaccinated?
That's all you say.
I don't care.
I'm vaccinated, I'm boosted, come on home.
Come home, give me a big hug, kiss. I missed you. Love you. School.
So easy. That is so like black and white clear. Thank you. All of my questions are gone now, because the only thing you have to ask yourself is, am I vaccinated? Am I boosted? And that means I might get something, but it's going to be mild.
Sure.
Okay, well, there goes that whole part of all the different scenarios. I was going to make a chart afterwards and let everybody look at it. But
just worry about yourself. This COVID vaccine has a really, really high success rate. The flu vaccines on a yearly basis, if you're getting 50% coverage, you're doing pretty well with flu. And so, the next COVID strain may not have a good, immune response. So the vaccine may not work. So, the more antibodies, my feeling is, that you create against COVID-19 and different spike protein mutations and co-protein mutations, I think the better. And just solely for the fact that these viruses are not stationary, they mutate, they change your protein structure, and anything that you can do to sort of increase the antibody response to it, I think it's a good thing.
So the next booster that becomes available, if it's a 4th, we say, yes, thank you so much.
I'm already planning when I'm going to go get it. The immunity from this clearly wanes. I mean, we're seeing people that are getting sick with COVID, but again, they're not critically ill sick. That's all I care about. I just don't want to die in the ICU on a ventilator.
Yeah.
So I don't mind getting COVID. I mind getting COVID, but not having a good immune response.
Okay, let me ask you one more scenario. I have COVID.
Okay.
I'm supposed to get on a plane tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
What do I restrict? I mean, I've been vaccinated, I've been boosted, but I have a mild case.
Yeah.
Do I change my plans?
There's no good answer to that. And what I mean by that is that, I mean, if you feel like that you have to be responsible for everybody else on that plane, then I guess you stay home. If you feel like it's everybody else on that plane's responsibility to be responsible for yourself, then you fly. So it's literally just for me, it's a matter of personal responsibility. I would certainly wear a mask, but you're going to transmit it, okay? But other people should not be walking on a plane ever if they're unvaccinated. It makes no sense to me. I mean, the people we see, I mean, that are sick. I mean, they're going to parties, they're out in the world, and then they walk in and they're horribly ill, and they go, "Gosh, I wonder how I got it." Well, we're vaccinated, and you've been moving through the world. If you don't want to be vaccinated in the middle of a pandemic, then you probably should stay at home.
Yeah, you should reduce the exposure because you haven't done the other thing.
Didn't have any exposure. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there's no in between. I mean, you either it's just not safe.
Okay, let's move away from that into the new research because it seems like Pfizer has a drug coming out. Paxlovid, is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's probably a game changer. The outcomes seem to be really, really encouraging. Once you have a drug like that you can give, it's sort of like Tamiflu for influenza, but this one probably works better than Tamiflu. Tamiflu is sort of a coin toss. But now you have something that you can at least offer people that develop COVID, and it probably has some effect for people that have been immune and have COVID, maybe decreasing their symptoms or the severity of the illness, keeping people out of the ICU, keeping people from dying. So I think it's a great thing.
Did we miss anything in this conversation?
No, I think that I'm cautiously optimistic. And in fact, a lot of us think that Omicron may be the answer because it's so contagious that it may be sort of a de facto vaccine for people that refuse to get vaccinated. You get them exposed to a, sort of an attenuated variant of COVID-19, which, like attenuated Delta. And maybe you offer some conferred immunity to Delta. I don't know. Time will tell. The good news is when you look at the data, stuff coming out of like South Africa, the people that were getting sick with Omicron aren't really ending up in the ICU and dying. If they did, man, we'd know it immediately. As far as I'm concerned, things need to be open. People need to be out and living their lives. Just get vaccinated. Let the people that aren't vaccinated worry about themselves. The emotional sort of mental toll it's taken, especially on young people, has been incalculable. And as parents, you need to keep a close eye on your kids. The depression, anxiety, the impact on socialization has been profound. And we are seeing so much in the way of mental health problems involving young people right now. Drug and alcohol abuse especially is skyrocketing.
So you're seeing that in the ER as a result of
at levels that I've never seen. I've been doing this 27 years. And so the trickle down effect of the lockdown has had a really significant impact on health and well-being on the backside. Anybody who is really pro total lockdown is absolutely clueless to the impact that it has on the health and well-being of young people. And the people most at risk are people of sort of low socioeconomic status. It's easy for upper middle class people to be able to do at-home teaching. It's not for a single working mom who lives in an apartment with 3 kids. We cannot shut down America. We cannot shut down our schools. We cannot sequester our kids into apartments or living situations just because we're afraid of Omicron. We've got to open things up. We got to get back to living.
Dr. Profeta, thank you after your long day for taking the time and getting here and talking to us. We really appreciate it. We appreciate what you're doing, and stay healthy.
My pleasure.